Mission Impossible 3 is directed by J.J. Abrams, and this film stars Tom Cruise, Michelle Monaghan, and Philip Seymour Hoffman. After the largely negative critical response to Mission Impossible 2, J.J. Abrams and Tom Cruise decided to bring the series back to its roots, and for that reason, this film is a vast improvement from its predecessor. This video might contain some minor spoilers to Mission Impossible 3, so if you want to avoid any and all spoilers, I would highly suggest skipping to this annotation so you can get my completely spoiler-free thoughts and my final grade to this film. And without further ado, let's talk about Mission Impossible 3. In this film, Ethan Hunt is finally back to his old self. He is no longer a cheap 007 knockoff, and he finally gets to return to his mission first type mindset. Ethan Hunt, at the beginning of this film, is starting to adopt the simple life, and he is about to marry a woman by the name of Julia, who is played by Michelle Monaghan, though his life as an IMF agent is completely secretive, though Ethan is soon drawn back into the IMF after the death of his protege. Since Ethan is back into the IMF, there's a lot more added tension, because he has a lot more to lose. Ving Rhames is also back in this film as Luther Stickle, and his character is just so hilarious. He finally has a more prominent role in this movie, and his character is probably my favorite character in the Mission Impossible franchise. The action in this film is quite stellar. It is extremely fast-paced and high-octane, though the action in this film is far from being perfect. Some action scenes in this film over-rely on shaky cam, and because of that, it is actually really difficult to see what's going on. This is actually a really well-shot movie, though. The colors pop, and it looks amazing on my 4K TV, even though it's upscaled 1080p. Tom Cruise has this incredibly weird obsession of having long shots of him running, and I believe this started in this movie because there's this really long 30-second shot, which is just him running at full sprint, and I actually find that scene weirdly satisfying. Does it really need to be in the movie? No, but I'm kind of glad it is for some weird, odd reason. Actually, I kind of find it funny that J.J. Abrams decided to put a 30-long-second shot of Tom Cruise running. Easily the best aspect of this movie is Philip Seymour Hoffman's performance as the antagonist Owen Davian. Every time he is on screen, I never fail to be on the edge of my seat. He is just such an amazing villain in this movie. I just love how he feels like an honest-to-God threat. He is constantly outsmarting the IMF, which these movies have proven time and time again that is an incredibly difficult feat to accomplish, and because of that, he is constantly 10 steps ahead of everybody. And because of this, he is the reason why their mission is impossible. I just love how all of our main characters are in constant danger because of him, and when they try to catch him, he always manages to slip through their fingers. Honestly, Philip Seymour Hoffman gave an Oscar-worthy performance in the scene where he is holding both Ethan and Julia captive. He completely disappears through this role in this scene, and he is so incredibly terrifying in this whole movie. Words cannot describe his performance. To this day, Owen Davian is still the most terrifying and the best Mission Impossible villain to date. I also love Simon Pegg as Benji Dunn. He is just so hilarious in this movie. I mean, he's Simon Pegg. He's one of the funniest actors working today. This movie does have some issues that end up bogging this movie down and preventing it from being one of the top tier Mission Impossible movies. Some of the character motivations are kind of weak in this film. Like, for example, why is Ethan so madly in love with Julia? And why does he want to quit his job at the IMF to settle down with her? The film never really takes time to really answer those questions. And also, even though Philip Seymour Hoffman gives an amazing performance, his character motivations are kind of weak too. Like, why does he want Rabbit's foot? I mean, you know that he will stop at nothing to get it, but I wish that it dived deeper into why he wants it so badly. I mean, his performance is really convincing. I just wish that the writing for his character was a little better. Even though the action in this movie is pretty solid, it kind of pales in comparison to the rest of the entries in this franchise. Those films have more real and in-camera action sequences. For example, the Shanghai building jump scene was shot on a green screen, and I was very disappointed to find that out. The green screen is actually pretty convincing, because it actually sold me that Tom Cruise legitimately pulled off that stunt. But I was pretty disappointed to find out that he didn't. Though this franchise later redeemed itself with the Burj Khalifa climb in Ghost Protocol. We'll talk about that next time. Overall, Mission Impossible 3 was a flawed entry in the Mission Impossible franchise, but it was a return to form, and it breathed new life into this franchise. And because of that, Mission Impossible 3 gets an A-. I hope you enjoyed my review of Mission Impossible 3, and if you did, make sure to like and comment. I actually love reading your comments, just as long as you keep them civil. And if you want more content like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell notification so you can be notified every time I upload a video. And shout out to Billy Buffalo and Phil Collins.